This time we're in the south of Russia, located in the mouth of the Don River. Rostov-on-Don has been a great commercial and cultural centre since ancient times, and RT's Gana Chichikan is there. Now, Gana, you're there in the south of Russia, plenty to talk about there, of course, but tell us about the historic and the cultural legacy of the region you're in now.
Well, Bill, the cultural diversity here is really amazing. More than 100 nationalities and ethnic groups living here in the very south of Russia on the banks of the River Don. Historically and geographically, this region has been a magnet for immigrants, for migrants, for people migrating from other parts of Russia. For example, there is a huge community of Armenians living here, the second largest Armenian community in the country. You know, if you ask the locals how many Armenians there are in the city of Rostov-on-Don itself, they would say the half of the city. Well, not that many in quantity, but up until the 20th century, there was an Armenian city here called Nord Nakhichevan, founded by Armenians in the Armenian immigrants in the 18th century. But during the Soviet Union, it merged with the city of Rostov, and now we have the big city of Rostov-on-Don, where we are now. But still, up until now, there are settlements and villages where the population, most of the population, still are Armenians. And away from the capital of the region, the Rostov-on-Don, we also have the capital of the legendary Don Cossacks here in the region. Well, the Don Cossacks themselves have military in Russia, having had to fight with Tatars on the one side and Turks on the other side. They had superb military skills, and they were a major support in Russia for Russian emperors in most wars. We should also say that the Cossacks themselves considered the land, the Don, the land of free people, and up until the 18th century, they enjoyed a great deal of autonomy here. Well, the Don Cossack host is still there. This is how they call the community, host. And for more on how the host lives now and how they cherish their traditions, here is my report. They are known as masters of waging war. For centuries, the legendary Don Cossacks helped Russia protect its borders and expand its territory all the way to the Far East. Images of Cossacks on horseback abound in history books, and the Cossack community here in the south of Russia is eager to revive its traditions. There was a time when horses were an integral part of Cossack life, but much of the tradition disappeared during this year. But Cossacks still haven't lost their taste for horses, and with the revival of Cossack detachments in mounted police, people are getting on horseback. Natalia heads a local mounted police unit. She says her parents, though Cossacks, were shocked by her decision to go for it.
Horses were not part of my parents' life. When I took up horse riding, their main concern was my safety, but now they are proud of what I do. It's a trademark of our culture, after all.
Here, at the Cossacks' oldest Orthodox church, one of the most worshipped icons shows Jesus riding into Jerusalem not on a donkey, but on a horse.
This is probably the only icon in the world with Jesus on horseback. Cossacks respect Christ so much, they probably just couldn't put him on a donkey.
No Cossack would go into battle without getting a blessing in church. The Cossack army fought in almost all the wars waged by the Russian Empire. After the revolution of 1917, a third of the Don Cossacks, around 500,000 people, were killed or deported by the Bolsheviks. But now the Cossack host here on the Don is seeing a revival.
We live in the modern world, we run businesses, we don't ride around with sabers. We've kept the Cossack spirit, our Orthodox faith, our love for the Don, our loyalty to Russia.
To help keep up this spirit, the host has organized military schools where, as the Cossacks put it, they raise real men. Most of these youngsters long for a military career. Asked what their nationality is, they reply Cossack. But they speak Russian, They sing in Russian, and they say they would risk their lives for Russia.
Yes, Cossack is a nationality, but I believe we're sometimes more Russian than those who boast about being Russians.
Of cultures here in the region.
Oh yes. Our city is called a melting pot. We have here really a number of different nationalities, Caucasus nationality, and well, we try to cope together. For example, yesterday I attended a concert. Nearly half of audience was Russians, I believe, by origin, and you know the audience after each part burst applauses, and it was a big success.
And also on everyday level, how do you feel?
Different Caucasus, Armenian, probably restaurants. We share our cuisine. It's very much famous here in our region. I mean, the Caucasus cuisine. Practically not a single wedding, even let's say Russian wedding, can do with Armenian music band. And Russian and Caucasus people, they enjoy dancing.
And this is very peculiar, Vladimir, because we went to the capital of Cossacks here in the region, the Don Cossacks, and we listened to a music band, a Cossack music band, and it was headed by an Armenian.
Oh, really?
That was really funny. And how do you look at that? I mean, how do you see that?
Well, Cossacks, it's another very much interesting point, and well, I can give you an example. One of my close relatives, he is a colonel of Cossack troops, though being Armenian.
Your own uncle is?
Yes, my uncle, yes, that's true. And, well, you know, to be every person who wanted to be free historically, he could become a Cossack. Cossack, in other terms, it's a free person, and a lot of Armenian and other Caucasus people join Cossack troops, and I believe it's very much natural.
Thank you very much, Vladimir. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that's it from me for this hour. See you soon.
Right. Yana Chichikan, that's great. More from you from the Rostov region a little later here on RT.